So cool. Ladies and gentlemen, I have in my studio Seth Lee Jones. Now, I have found Seth from Instagram, and this is why we do the lesson. Welcome to the studio.
Thanks for having me.
All right. Well, today, I want to jump into your background, your guitar, the fact that you build it, the sounds that you make, because what I found was I saw clips of you on Instagram, and I thought, this guy's doing stuff I've never heard before. It's bluesy, it's slidey, it's bendy, but you've got some tapping, you've got some other things, and then you have this real grindy fuzz to the whole thing. And it's just an attitude and a vibe that I'm not hearing from other people. So it really stood out to me, which is why I want more people to be able to hear what he's doing. And we're going to talk about what he does. And first off, let's just talk about your guitar. You built this thing.
I did. I made this in 2006 right out of Luthier school. I made this body. This is the fourth neck I've put on this. And I made this neck too. The neck is bird's eye maple, one piece. It's non-adjustable. There's just a carbon fiber bar that runs up there. I've been playing this particular neck since 2015. So ash, bird's eye, Bakelite, McNally pickups. I got the Stagger Swagger here, the dual blade here, which you're familiar with.
Yeah.
And then this contraption here is the Hip Shot palm bender. The other odd duck about this is that it's flat. There's no radius on this fingerboard at all.
Well, I played it for a few minutes, and when I first saw this, I was thinking, well, it's probably going to get in the way of any normal picking that I would do. But actually, where it's placed on the guitar is fairly comfortable for standard playing, and these are accessible in a way that you don't get stuck on them. So that is a thing, because I have a guitar that has a similar type of thing on it, but it's too far forward, and I bump into it when I don't want to.
Yeah, I feel like the easiest way for me to really dissect that is that most mechanics are not always drivers. And if you look at the way this is, I don't know if the camera can see that from, maybe that angle can, but you can see that I've got this lever mounted really low. I've got this one shorter, and this guy is long, but he's pushed out of the way. And
right.
You know, your hand is shaped, C-shaped, and so are these to accommodate for it. And what that allows me to do is to roll across these to actuate them. without it being in the way of me picking even all the way back to the saddle. I can still get to that without knocking too much.
That's
Especially
definitely
this guy.
clever.
This guy having this on top and out here, it just makes it completely unusable for me.
Yeah,
It gets in the way of your pick.
I found it very difficult. But just because we're talking about that, just give a demo of what it's doing to each string that you have
So
attached to.
open D.
Yep.
So these two A's, these both go up a whole tone. And then the F sharp goes up a half tone. And I never set out to make a Bender-equipped Telecaster tuned to open D. It was purely by accident. I made the first neck for this. I was fresh out of Luthier school, and I screwed it up. It was backbowed so bad, and I had heat set it, and I just could not get it to come forward for me to play it like a normal guitar. I wanted to do a McVeigh bender and learn some Brad Paisley licks. McVeigh benders were out of my price range as a budding luthier. So I got this guy off of eBay at the time. I think I paid like $150 for a used one. And I realized after I had ruined the neck, I was like, well, I'll have to make another neck. In the meantime, I'll put lap steel strings on it. And I've played lap steel since I was a teenager. And the Hawaiian lap steel strings that I was fond of were actually 14s on top. And I realized that whenever I grab this triad, it goes from a 1 to a 4. And it was like a light bulb moment for me, like, oh, wait, this could be really cool. And I ended up using it that way.
Well, when I heard what you were doing with it, I didn't know that you were in an open tuning, and I would see what you were playing, and it didn't look familiar to me, although you had some tapping things and some other things that didn't seem to sound like the standard stuff in open tunings, because I guess what happens with open tunings is you have some symmetrical things, but then there's a shift because of the third. You know, one string is outside of that symmetrical shape. And when you are playing some of those tapping things, it sounded like Indian or in some sort of Eastern thing, which in a country fuzz tone was like definitely like, hey, that's up my alley. I like this kind of thing, you know. So it was cool that you did that, but maybe show some of the other sounds that you have, because you have pedal steel kind of vibes happening, but then you've got some things on your board that make it have this explosive, corrosive fuzz. Even though it's like mostly overdrive stuff, it just sounds like everything's on fire and breaking up, you know. So I love what it sounds like, and I love the things that you're doing. So maybe a little breakdown of some of the sounds that are happening with this pedal board.
Well, on this pedal board, I pared this down a little bit to travel, and it covers all the things that I need. The main thing on this is, if I didn't have anything else, the volume pedal. And the trick with the volume pedal is not being a dead cut. When I'm all the way down, you can still hear it.
Yeah.
So that kind of softens your attack on the way into a pedal steel bend. But for gain stages, I've got a Noble copy here. I typically would use a Keeley Noble. I've got this mini guy on the board, and then next to him, to right behind him, which some people don't like a compressor behind their drive, but I do. I've got the mini Keeley compressor. And for the extra hair, I've got the Greg Koch Little Heat right there. And that gets it into that fuzz range.
Right.
But yeah, just those three pedals, and then the main thing being the volume pedal is going to get me where I need to be.
Show us with a little sound now that you've described it.
So just the Noble and the compressor. You put hair on it, little heat. Thanks, Greg.
It sounds great. And then sometimes you have some delays and things that you add.
I've got this halo set up just the way I like it. This is the Andy Timmons halo, Keeley. I've got one side with the long, and this is a stereo delay, and the other side is a slapback. So the slapback, you know, get some of that Sonny Landreth stuff. And then with the longer delay, you can get more of the hair raiser, emotional sounding. can really inflect with this volume pedal. I kind of liken it to the little box on Ghostbusters that they slide out there to catch the ghost.
Yeah.
I use it to suck in the bad notes.
The thing about your playing, I don't have a background in any of the standard blues, nothing from the country world. And I hear the stuff that you're doing and the way that you're blending some of those things. And I think I would like to learn to do some of that on the guitar, but I can't play in open tunings. So maybe, since this is the lesson, you could show me some things that I could try to figure out on the guitar. Because I've seen you do stuff with harmonics, I've seen you do stuff with the benders and the slide, and I like the sound of all of those things, but I, as a mere mortal with a standard tuning guitar, I need to figure out a way to play some of that kind of stuff on a regular guitar, because it won't make sense for me any other way.
Yeah.
So maybe you could show me, like, there's a harmonic thing that you do that's pretty cool.
Yeah, we talked about this earlier. Right here for open D, I use this one a lot as a passing phrase. So it's those harmonic positions. So I'll use that in a phrase, even if it's pentatonic first. And we're back the other way around. But yeah, it's just starting on that low string.
See, I love the sound of that, but I don't have the low string in my tuning, so I'm gonna have to try to find where those notes could be.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so without the low string, it's like That's cool. So I could try to figure out a way to incorporate some of that, but it's like these moves where I have to hit them are not as economic, like where you're able to play
I'm all
them.
in this little tiny group here. It's much more spread out for you.
Yeah, so that's a cool sound, though. I like that. So I have similar harmonics, but they're not in the same tuning, you know, where it's... So I can get some of that stuff, but if I wanted to play in the key of D, I would be able to access these at least.
Yeah, that's it.
So that's pretty cool. Now, what about something that's got like a pedal tone move there, where it's like pedal steel bender lick?
Well, that's probably the more common one that I use, and I'm actually holding that F sharp lever in, which would be for your G string if you were tuned normal. So.
I don't know how I would get there. I can kind of see that you're doing like a triad, that then the third in the triad moves up. So I could try something like this maybe, where it's like... Yes. That, yeah. And then to get up higher... So I can't really bend from there. I mean, I guess I could try to get a half step. Like that, so like a...
That's it.
It's really like, it feels like you're just stumbling across the strings to make it work this way.
I like that better than mine. Oh, dang.
Getting the intonation is the real tricky part. You know, that is weird with a setup like this because this is a floating bridge.
And every time you pull that string down, that thing's coming forward a little bit for your other two notes.
Right. So you have to use your ear to like pull things more in tune to whatever's happening.
Yeah.
So
it almost makes sense to kind of hold that bar to stabilize the chord as you're bending.
it's kind of tough because everything kind of gets in the way. You know, I'm not good at playing where this. Yeah. Michael Lee Firkins is the best I've ever seen at that. You know, he's just got that down, and he does so many cool things. He's another guy I want to have on the lesson. Michael Lee Firkins, you got to check him out if you don't know him. So here's the thing. Let's talk a little bit more about your background. You've been playing guitar for over 20 years, but building guitars for over 20 years, and you're working out of Tulsa, Oklahoma, right? So what's it like with what you're doing right now? Because I found you, that means lots of other people have a chance to find you on Instagram. Are people coming to you and saying, hey, build me a guitar just like that one?
Yes. I make maybe 5 or 6 of them a year, just like this one, the same wood and everything. It's really funny for me to make one for somebody because I'm like, you're gonna hate this. Because the bender, it's tuning this way and using that bender, it's essentially learning the guitar over again.
Yeah.
I had to force myself into it and learn Nashville number system and figure out how to apply the advantages that you get with an open tuning. And a lot of people don't have the stomach for the amount of practice it takes to really get a grip on this guy. And I don't claim to have mastered it. I've got a long way to go still. But yeah, it is really its own instrument. I liken it to a pedal steel with frets. Fewer strings, so it's a little more simple than a pedal steel, because I tried that once and I'm not cut out for it. But yeah, I make 5 or 6 of these a year for people that are identical to the one that I make. Most of what I make is, Strat and Tele type builds in standard tuning. I make about 18 or 20 guitars a year from scratch. I don't have any CNC machines. I do it all by hand in about a 400 square foot building.
So what are you using, chisels and things?
I mean, I have machines. I've got a really large bandsaw. I service all my own material from raw lumber that's 10 to 14 feet long, cut it down into billets and join it and surface it. I have a surfacing planer and joiner and drum sander and oscillating spindles and big edge sanders and several bandsaws. It's really packed in there.
So what does it look like for you on a daily or monthly basis? How much playing do you get to do? Playing live shows or playing with other musicians versus running a business and making guitars? Because it seems like there's not enough time for all of that stuff.
There's not. I get up really early. I'm not even playing. I get up before the sun every day. Most of what I do is repair. Old Martins and Gibsons, neck sets, refrets, making new bridges, tear downs that most music stores won't get into because it's more hairy. I get stuff sent to me. I do contract work for Guitar House of Tulsa, and if I have to have something sent, I'll have it sent there because they have it receiving. Most of what I do is repair, though, and restoration. I don't do a lot of setups and pickup swaps. It's mostly hairy restoration.
And what you're doing, though, is you were trained as a luthier, and you've just taken it to your comfort zone, the things you like to work on, and it's all about craftsmanship. That's my guess.
Oh, absolutely. I taught the subject for many years. I ran a program, entry-level luthier program at Tulsa Wood Arts for about 4.5 years. We made over 200 guitars out of that program, and nobody lost a finger or an eye.
Very good.
I think every gray hair on my head is from that program. But yeah, we had a good, successful run in a really nice multi-million-dollar facility there. It gave me an opportunity to better myself as a maker, because people would find interesting ways of making mistakes, and the ways I'd never thought of. And I'd be like, wow, how can I make it where you can't make that mistake? So my tooling, my fixtures, my jigs, all of my router templates and stuff, I've put little fail-safes along the way from teaching that course, learning from other people. through their mistakes.
And is that something that still exists as a course?
No, it doesn't. They transitioned to a private studio, and they make fine furniture in there.
Okay.
And that was another great opportunity for me. I would get there early to set up and watch the guys that were making the fine furniture. And I picked up some serious game from those guys about how to join figured woods and how to resaw that stuff from a different perspective. Because guys that make furniture do it different than guys that make guitars. Guys that make muskets and fancy guns do it different. So it really gave me an opportunity and insight into a different world of the same medium of wood.
Have you found that there's certain combinations of wood that you would never use because they won't join?
Yeah, I mean, there's stuff that I'm sure you've encountered this over the years of having lots of guitars. It's like if something's really, really heavy, it's going to limit how much it vibrates with the amount of energy you have in a pack of strings. So yeah, there's some stuff that I don't use for what I do, whereas other builders might. I kind of stick to a more traditional vein of electric guitar building. I build some acoustics, maybe 1 or 2 a year, but yeah, it's a more traditional methodology that I use. I tend to favor more modern radiuses and fret wire size and more modern pickup choices. But
that guitar is kind of like a baseball bat, the neck.
It is, yeah. And I did that with purpose. The first time that I actually encountered a neck big like that with almost no taper was I worked for a guy named Fred Askin, who's not far from here. And he had made himself a neck that was really big like that. And it was like strangely comfortable for me. I was like, oh, this is nice. But one of the other things that I noticed as an advantage of having a larger neck is that they're less affected by the tension of the strings and the weather around them. Yeah. You've got more mass. It's like if you have a really thin neck and you take the strings off it, like the bow falls out of it in the wrong direction, This thing, when I take the strings off, nothing happens. It's still straight. And part of that's because there's a carbon bar in there that's really stiff, but having the extra mass, I feel like it helps to transfer the energy of the strings that way towards the bridge. You're not losing it in the neck flopping around. And it's just comfortable for me. I've been doing it for so long. I grew up playing my mom's 58 Gibson 125 that had a ball bat on it, so it's really not that far out of that range.
Well, Jeff Beck had a really baseball bat style neck on one of his Fender signature guitars, and a lot of people just couldn't deal with it, and it would change the neck all the time. So it is a thing that if you play a certain way, it can be very comfortable. But I also feel like guitars, and I've said this before, they just tell you what you are supposed to play on them. They make you play a certain way. And if you're receptive to that, you're going to play the right stuff with that guitar. It's not like one thing is going to do it all the time. At least not for me.
Well, and those times I've been tasked with making a Swiss Army knife of a guitar, I feel like they never really did any one thing great. It's like you got loads of switches and loads of pickup options, and I don't know. I feel like if you'll dial it into one thing that it does great, then maybe use a different guitar for that other stuff.
Well, let's switch gears for 1 second and talk about where you've been playing and some of the people you've had a chance to play with. Because, like I said, finding you on Instagram, if I found you, other people had to have found you. So have you heard from other people and say, hey, come play with me?
The Instagram thing is pretty wild for me. Having connectivity to the rest of the world through this little device in your pocket is kind of freaky. So I have a bi-monthly gig at a local bar, and I've had a weekly or a bi-monthly for probably 16 years in Tulsa with different outfits, with my own outfit for like the last 9 or 10 years, I think. But yeah, the internet device has allowed me opportunity to sit in with some great players. I got to play with Derek Trucks at the Tulsa Theater.
He's pretty good.
He's a monster. And I got to play with Greg Koch this year,
also
this last year.
Very good.
Oh, it's terrifying. Very large human that just shreds on guitar.
Well, that is something that reminds me of, there's so many different ways that people are out there trying to make music and trying to keep traditions in music alive, and certainly live music is a thing that should be kept alive.
Sure.
But if you're out there and you're playing because you love playing, and it's a place that's not necessarily, let's call it, the most exciting location.
Yeah.
What keeps you motivated to keep out there playing?
Well, I mean, it's kind of a two reasons for me. It's product testing for one. People that will come out and watch me will have witness to that I can use the instrument, and I'm probably more known in Tulsa for being a repair person than I am as a player. So it's product testing, and they can see me using the things that I fix and that I make. And the other reason is I love playing guitar. I've been doing it since about 1996. My mom played. My dad plays bass still, and my uncles, my granddad. I didn't really have a choice in the matter. It's just a part of the family unit. I grew up playing in church with my folks, and I love it. It's like making dinner or putting on your shoes. It's normal to me to play guitar.
Well, that is exactly the reason that most people who are very good at what they do and are very musical stick with it, because it's just a release. It's a connection they have to it, and they're going to do it whether it's because they're putting money in their pocket or not. It's just a thing that is part of their life that they enjoy. And 9 times out of 10, I would bet that the people that play the music that way for those reasons are playing the best music, because it's really coming from them, and it's not trying to capitalize on a trend or some other thing.
I think if I played country or red dirt around Oklahoma, I'd probably have more people showing up to those bars that I play at, but that's just not where my heart's at,
Well, maybe some more people are going to hear what you're doing and maybe pick up one of your records, or at least check out some of your video clips that you're doing, and maybe even want to have you make one of these guitars for them. Yeah. I still think there's more that you could show me, because I love the sound of some of the pentatonic things that you have and some of the slidey stuff. That's one of the things about the regular guitar. There's a lot of guys that use the bar and make it sound like slide. I'm pretty bad at it. It's one of those things that I like the sound of, and I'm trying to get a little better at it, but I just don't really know where the nuanced parts are. So I'm looking for things to expand my vision on the guitar. So maybe you could show me. I've heard you do some pretty cool runs that sound like some notes are doubled up in weird ways. So you know the one I'm talking about?
Yeah. So I kind of started as a stumble. And I just kind of developed it into a pattern. Slowing it down.
It's so cool. I can't see how I would be able to, because I'm obviously don't have the low D. I might be able to get some of that movement if I started a couple octaves up, but it looks to me like it would lay out where you have some unisons like this. Is that, play the first part. It sounds like that's what's happening to me. Yeah. So it sounds like if I was to try to simplify this for myself and make it so the phrase is relatively the same as I move it through 3 octaves, I can try something like and then so yeah, it's a tricky one, because to switch from this string to hop to the next one, I'm trying to find the connection.
That's it, yeah.
It's definitely a similar kind of thing where it's using unisons and having either this or This kind of phrase is in there somewhere too. It's that kind of feel, but that does open up things for me to try to visualize some other ways to play in a pentatonic box.
Yeah. Well, there's this funny thing that happens with open D that if you're looking at this first position, skip, that's your major scale all out of order.
Yeah.
And you move that just one position up, or one fret up. And I skip that F sharp again.
So
it's
that
perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah, what that looks like, I think it's this. So if I play it up here and I do 3 octaves of it.
That's it.
Yeah, so. But that's something that I do where I go. So it's kind of already something I do a little bit, but now I see a different shape in there that I wasn't seeing before, where I could have 3 octaves of 3 note per string. And then just because it's the next set of 2 strings, I have it an octave higher. And then again up here. So that can work for me because of what you just explained, how it works over there. Although I think I have 3 more notes than you because you're skipping 1 string.
Exactly.
That's cool. Now, what about something that gives me like a slide kind of sound? You know, this kind of... like something...
So
yeah, that's cool. See, you're going down and then sliding in.
Yeah.
So I don't know if I would be able to do that with the bar. I might have to do part of it with the bar and part of it with a bend. So are you starting with like a... So you're... So I could do the bar there, like...
Yeah.
So I would have to go...
Yes.
Something like that. Yeah, that's like...
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Something like that. That's cool. Definitely, those things are not really just under my fingers, but I love the sound of them, and I would like to be able to do more of that stuff. I just have to hear more phrases that I can visualize and then try to figure out, well, first make time to actually learn them and play them and get them in there. But I like how that sounds. Obviously, Jeff Beck was the master at doing a lot of that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
But I want to be able to do some of it, but not in that same way. I want to go outside of what that is and see if I can add some other flavors, maybe some Indian style slides or stuff like that. You know, there's some stuff that I like to do where I'll do slides like this. I will slide from one note into it. Like, so,
Wow.
so that kind of thing is slide-esque, but it's not with the bar, you know. I wonder if you can do anything like that where you use the actual slide.
Jeez, I don't know. That's not way hard. I don't know. What did you? What was
I
that
was
first
in the
range?
key of A, but we could do it in D if that's better. So like, let's say. Yeah, so any note that you start on, you replace, let's think about like replacing your finger with another finger from a different position. So in this case, a minor third away, like, so. Yeah. Yeah, so whichever finger you start with, the lowest finger slides up to replace it. So. Yeah. So you could pull off, don't hit the note again, pull off, and then slide it. So like. Yeah.
Oh,
So
man.
if you can get it right there without.
That's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. So I would take something in a pentatonic shape and be like. Yeah.
I'm about to work on that when I get home.
Yeah. So that's a cool thing. But there's other things that pedal steel kind of sounds that I hear on the guitar, but I'm not good at, where it's like a single note on a different string, across strings, like this kind of thing, where it's like. So this guy.
Wow.
It's almost like a piano pedal steel type of thing, but it's all pentatonics. The thing about it is, it's totally uncomfortable and hard to get your fingers to the right spots when you're moving them across the strings. So on one set of strings, moving them up is not that tough, but you get these voicings like. Yeah, well, because you've got. Yeah, you've got different tunings, so you can have a different kind of voicing as you go up. I'm doing it all as notes from pentatonic there, but you could be doing it with like clusters where you're getting, you know, like sus chords and six chords and stuff like that. But this is all just really based on pentatonic clusters. I'm doing basically, watch this. These are across one note per string, right? But it's these notes. Or there's 3 different ways to play what I just played.
Wow.
So it's a different way that you can attack the same notes. And that's something that maybe you can find some cool ways to basically set something up and then have different ways to articulate it when you're playing.
Yeah, man, that's wild. Yeah, that's wild, man.
Yeah.
Was that what you were doing?
I was doing it so I'm in the key of A, but if you wanted to do it in D, I can do a. And then the next one is. Yeah, but I'm doing it where it's across 3 strings. So
yeah.
Your position of what I would have for my G string to the B string relationship
higher,
is are you going to be here like one half step higher? Because it starts to move itself in a way up the neck pentatonically that is diatonic to the pentatonic scale. So when I'm doing this kind of thing where I'm going, the next thing that I'm actually, if you want to look at it like a standard pentatonic, I would be doing this. as I move everything up, but I'm doing it one note per string across 3 strings. So that's essentially what's happening. Is the same as but you get that sound of it being almost like a piano. Yeah, so little things like that. But I think somewhere down the road, we'll have to do some playing together, make a song or something, and then we can really dive deeper into some of these things and see if we can fuse the style.
Yeah, yeah.
That would be pretty fun.
Oh, yeah.
I've noticed that you don't take your foot off your volume pedal, and I wonder how you came to playing that way, because what I do hear in your playing is out of nowhere, your volume will disappear and then swell back in because you're doing like the faux pedal steel type of thing. But obviously you're listening and you're thinking, when can I put this in? I would love for you to demonstrate that and also talk a little bit more about the open tuning and playing in an open tuning and how you get different chords that give you that pedal steel thing, because that's the sound that I think really drew me in and probably will be drawing in others who start listening to you.
Sure. The volume pedal, I've come to rely on that solely for not being able to reach. This being here, I can't reach these knobs effectively to do swells or pulses.
Yeah.
So that was really what drew me in to start using it in the first place. That, and I started with lap steel, and that's kind of part of that style is having your ramp up with your chords and having that most vocal inflection. The chord that you'll probably most associate with that pedal steel is actually me holding in the center lever, the F sharp, raising it a whole tone. That doesn't sound very pedal steel by itself, but whenever you put that
Right.
bottom lever on there, moving that A string
That's
up.
kind of this thing.
Yeah.
So it would be basically this kind of suspended chord till you get...
Yeah. In this tuning, it would look like... So...
It looks like a 13 chord on a regular guitar.
Yeah, totally. So this volume pedal business it's cutting off that hard attack before it has that pick noise in it, you know.
Right.
So basically what I'm doing is I'm manipulating the volume pedal to take away some of the true guitar essence of it and kind of point it at a lap steel.
But then you sneak in the delay and the reverb, and it has this ethereal thing that becomes very vocal and lyrical.
Mm-hmm. So just adding the halo to it, stereo delay. Get some kind of spooky, churchy sounding swells there, and it almost lives in a pedal steel sound, but it's not quite there.
Right, and if you were going to try to do that with a volume knob, you wouldn't have access to any of the levers.
I can't reach it.
Yeah,
because people think that I've switched this plate around. I really haven't. The tone knob's right there. And the volume knob's right there.
Yeah.
So I figured, I can't reach it anyway because it's at the end of this. There's no way I'm going to be able to roll this at the same time as working that. So yeah, this is switched around.
So it's all, your foot is driving a lot of the attack.
Yeah, and the reason this is backwards is not to get to the volume pedal. It's so that the switch is out of the way. So that when I'm playing, I can whack that and go to the bridge pickup.
Yeah.
Because before I would roll this and knock myself into the neck position. So
which makes sense.
Right, and these pedal steel bends really sound a lot fuller and clearer if you're on the bridge pickup.
Yeah.
It
Well, give us
seems
some
to-
more.
It seems to make this B string not die as quickly.
That sounds great.
It's taken me a long time to get there. There's a
Yeah.
lot of bad notes played before I could get the good ones
Yeah,
out.
but you know, the thing is, there are players that do similar stuff, but there's an edge to your sound and the way that you're doing it that makes it stand out in a rock way that is what drew me in. So I think there's something different. There's definitely ways that other players are manipulating similar sounds, but not with the same aggressive attack and thing on it. There's just something about the colors that you're using that I heard, and I was like, I love that. It sounds great to me.
Well, I wasn't just a Lloyd Green fan. I was an Eddie Van Halen fan, and I'm still a King's X fan. Like I've got all those records. I love that stuff.
Gretchen Goes to Nebraska.
Oh, yeah.
The tone on that is killer.
I get to about Mr. Bulbous, and I just turn around and go back to Gretchen Goes to Nebraska. Go back through the whole thing. You know,
Yeah.
I love that sound. I've always been into that aggressive style of guitar playing. Ty Tabor had such interesting choices for tonal textures. Like he was using those elites and the System 3s. And he had solid state amps before I knew anybody that was doing solid state amps.
And he had short delays and things that made it wide and cool.
Yeah, killer vibrato. Just an unusual player. I've always loved that sound. And then you put in tapping in this tuning, and it just everything just gets weird.
Well, yeah, I've heard you do some weird ones. Show me some of your weird ones. There was an Indian sounding one, and then there was one that was kind of like a dominant chord sounding one that was pretty cool.
The Indian one's probably this guy here, and simply, and then you put a little delay on it. It's a little hairier than that. It even stands out more.
It's a very Holdsworth kind of sound as well.
Yeah, and there's actually two right there next to each other. So you have this, and there's also one right next to it, which is kind of the same grouping of notes, just in a different order. And I find that this one is easier for me with the bar on my finger. You could probably do that without the bar and not have this weight. That inertia kind of screws me up.
It sounds like something like this. So you're there. But then it's going.
Yeah, that's it.
So it's an octave below it.
Totally it.
And then you had, and then you moved it down to. So. Those two shapes. But it's funny because that kind of sound, you know, it's almost a little. That kind of sound, which is, you know, Holdsworth, Van Halen. But I take a similar pattern out of that, and I just do straight up pentatonics where it'll be like.
Yeah.
That kind of sound, but I move it around, you know, different places. So it's definitely, there's similarities in the stuff that you go for and the stuff that I like. And it's just funny because they're coming from totally different places in different tunings, but yet there's still kind of, I think the core of the idea is that mix-up of the Van Halen meets Holdsworth meets, you know, Indian or something. You know, it's just something to get out of the norm.
Oh, absolutely. It actually lends itself very nicely, I feel like, to the stuff that we do. You can slide that stuff in there and, you know, country-based music and just kind of slip it in there real secretively and
Yeah.
like, wait a minute.
Well, it's not dissimilar from eating food and you get some different spices you put on there and it makes it have a little tang that makes it more interesting, you know?
Yeah,
So it's
without it being, you know, ketchup on steak.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed one other thing that makes your playing different is your picking style. It seems like you're doing some different stuff with the thumb pick. Are you using it differently than other people? Is it a different kind? Or I've never played with a thumb pick, but it just seems like you're doing different things.
It is different, and I'll explain it. It actually comes from an injury. I take these slick picks and I chop about 2/3 of the length off of it here. So you can see how short that is. And you can see how when it sticks out, there's almost nothing there.
Yeah.
There's barely anything showing past the pad of my thumb. I really liked jazz threes whenever I could hold a pick. I can't hold a pick anymore. I've done so much fret work that I've destroyed this knuckle.
Wow.
I've got arthritis in it, and I just drop them. I just can't hold them. I've changed some things about the way that I've doing that process, but the damage is done. I have a hard time hanging on to a pick. So that's why I went to this in the first place. The other thing is that if you were to hold a regular pick and try to roll these things, you would find out very quickly that it's damn near impossible to make good contact.
Right.
And part of the thing that gives me speed and advantage with this is that I'm using all of my fingers. So when I roll this thing down, get some volume on this. If you imagine that I didn't have this finger, it would be much harder to roll that.
Right. I can see that.
While holding the pick. And then if you were to do it with just your fingers, they're not as loud.
And you don't have the accuracy that you need of the strike.
Right. And I can take this guy and turn it to the side and still get some speed out of it. Going that way like a jazz three would.
That's cool. One other thing that I'm just seeing also just because of the way the lights are on the strings, what strings are you using and do you treat them differently because they're not quite flat wounds, they have something different, they look different?
They are different. These are the Ernie Ball paradigms, but I take them and I polish them to 400 grit, and then I spray them with lacquer.
Every time?
Every time, yeah. And this set of strings, I just changed before I came out here to LA to do this, but I had a set of these on here since I got back from vacation. This was like first week in November.
Okay.
And I changed them the day before I came out because I didn't want to be breaking strings on your show like Dylan was.
Oh! There goes the string.
There goes the string.
But yeah, the main reason I do that is it kills some of that top end that could be a little ice picky with a Telecaster, and it also gets rid of a lot of white noise.
Yeah.
So if I had a regular guitar with regular strings, you would notice a lot more of that sound.
Right.
So it helps me deaden things. It helps me maintain the level of EQ I want because I don't want it to get too bright. If you listen to Buddy Emmons and Lloyd Green, they don't have a particularly bright tone even in their top strings.
Yeah.
It's a mellow sound, and that's kind of indicative of the way that those coils are wound for MSAs and pedal steels. They're not stupid bright on the top strings. And these strings are actually pretty dang large. 17, 17, 24 wound, 32, 42, 52. And I'll sometimes use a 53 or 54 if I'm tuning to C.
Right.
Tuning it down, you get some different artifacts that pop out when you're chording. It's kind of like playing your stuff on a baritone guitar. Some chords sound terrible, and other ones sound wonderful. Right. So I do have one at home that I tune C. But yeah, the whole gist behind polishing the strings was to get rid of some white noise, contain some of the top end of the EQ of the guitar, and then the gauges are specific to how high I want these bars resting and how long those notes are going to hold together. Because when I first started doing this, I had just a regular set of 12s on it, and that top string, when I would cycle, it would be dead by now. I can sit here and roll this thing till the cows come home, especially if I'm running big amps with some gain on them. It'll just sit there and cycle. On a smaller string, the weight of the bar, I'll get more knocking, and the note doesn't seem to sustain quite as long.
Well, you have definitely figured out what works for you, and it sounds great to me. I would love it if you could play us a full song and just play all the pedals and all the styles all in one thing.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. Well, there you have it. That's the kind of church music I actually love.
Yeah.
It sounded great. Well, I really want people to be able to find you. Where can they find you?
Oh, easiest place, probably Instagram, SLJ Guitars. I've got some records out on Horton Records. It's a nonprofit label out of Tulsa, Oklahoma. He's pretty easy to find, and between those two places, I'm there.
All right. Well, if you are looking for ways to improve your guitar playing, we've learned a few today. Of course, you should build your own guitars. You should sand your strings and then lacquer them. That's obviously the first thing you're going to do as soon as you stop watching this video. And you should use a volume pedal in the wrong way, just always on and off, making sure that you have swells all the time. But seriously, the thing that I love about your playing and the thing that I love about doing a series like this is that we get to hear from people that are finding their own sound, and they're doing their thing and they're just putting it out there, and then other people go, yes, I like that. And you can see that it's still, there's so many things to explore on the guitar versus, you know, playing and the sound that you create. And I'm happy that you got to come out here and share your skills with me. And I appreciate the things that you taught me.
Well, thanks very much for having me.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you like this kind of stuff, like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time on The Lesson.